Hello ladies and gents, welcome to my advanced shooting tutorial for eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2021. I've got to admit guys, I found the advanced shooting a lot of fun whilst making this video. It certainly gives you a lot more control of the type of shots you want to produce. And in this tutorial I'll be explaining how advanced shooting works. I'll be pointing out the pros and cons, showing you a variety of shot types, and also I'm going to be including the scoop chip, which you definitely don't want to miss. First, let's understand the basics, which are so important because a lot of people come to me and go, why do I always shoot over the bar with advanced shooting? So your left stick determines the trajectory. So if you're pulling back on your left analog stick, this means it's going to do a low shot. If I pull directly to the left, as you're seeing in this clip, it's going to go right down the middle. But if I pull back on the diagonal, it's going to pick one of the corners, depending which way I'm pushing on the left analog stick. If, for instance, I push up or directly down, this is going to aim roughly towards the middle of the goal in terms of the height. And if I push up, again, you can see there it's just rising, but that's because of the power I'm putting on it, which I'll talk about a bit more. But like I said, if you push forward on your left analog stick, what you're going to see is these long shots. It might be okay from the halfway line, from this sort of distance, to try those sorts of shots, but never push forward on the left analog stick in my opinion when you're using advanced shooting. Otherwise you're going to end up in row Z. Now let's take a look at shot power. The more power you apply to your shot, the less accurate your shot will be. This is indicated by the circle that expands as you power up your shot, and the bigger the circle, the less accurate the shot. Obviously you need to apply enough power to beat the goalkeeper. This circle is affected by many things, including the player finishing stat, whether the player is shooting with his stronger or weaker foot. If they're shooting with their weaker foot, then they'll be impacted by obviously the weak foot accuracy stat, whether the player's off balance or not, whether there's a defender nearby applying pressure, and there's probably more factors than that, but those are the ones that are just off the top of my head. The beauty of advanced shooting is you've got so much control over your shots. So if I wanted to do an outside low foot finish, I can do that just by pulling back on the left analog stick. When it comes to heading, the controls are exactly the same as shooting normally. Push the left stick forward towards goal for a high header, or pull it backwards on the left stick for a downward header. However, if your player doesn't get over the ball, as you see in this example here, he won't be able to head the ball downwards, because if he did, we'd end up with FIFA physics. And that's going to bring us nicely onto the pros and cons. So let's look at the cons first, and you're going to do this a lot, where you're going to miss simple chances because it's going to take a time to adapt and make sure you're not pushing that left analog stick towards goal like you would normally for basic shooting. The only other downside to advanced shooting is when you're using super cancel to get in front of your defender. As per my super cancel tutorial, you've got to then think about angling the left analog stick as you're trying to aim. So you can see that I was struggling with the left analog stick and the super cancel beforehand. So when you do nail it, you'll get something like this. So you can see I use super cancel to peel off my man and then use the left analog stick quickly to aim into the corner of the net. When it comes to free kicks, the advanced shooting has no impact on the controls. So if you were to pull back on the left analog stick, as I'm going to display here, it doesn't mean that the shot's going to go along the ground as you would see if you were to do a shot in normal open play. It does still do that sort of lofted, curled finish from the free kick position. When it comes to lobbing the goalkeeper, as many of you know, I like to use the special control button as well as the player select and shoot buttons, as I find this more effective when it comes to chipping the goalkeeper. For advanced shooting, just make sure you push the left analog stick towards goal, and that will get you the height you require. Now let's take a look at the scoop chip, which is where your player scoops the ball up by getting his foot underneath the ball, sort of Poborski style. And to do this, all you need to do is when you're through on goal, take a touch of the ball, that's important, and then release your left analog stick, all your other controls, and then once you're ready, you want to push the left analog stick, the left bumper, which is your player select button, the right trigger, which is your special controls button, and the shoot button, all at the same time to chip the goalkeeper using the scoop chip. You're probably wondering what you can do on advanced shooting that you can't do on basic shooting. Well, check this out. This is a long, low driven pile driver from the edge of the box with tons of power, and that's just me pulling back on the left analog stick, applying around 50% power. Something you couldn't do in 2020, which you can do in 2021, is the actual dipping shot, which is what you're seeing here. In PES 2020, the rising and dipping shots were contextual, so there was no direct input that you could have on the controller to influence that type of shot. But in 2021, the dipping and rising shots are back, as you can see in the last two examples. So let me share some tips on how you can improve your advanced shooting. So if you are going to take a long shot, just make sure you have plenty of power, but use the left analog stick directly up or directly down. I wouldn't ever push towards goal, as I've shown you in the early examples. The only time you should be pushing the left analog stick directly towards goal, other than lobbing the goalkeeper, is when you're volleying the ball at close range, as you're seeing in this example. Look at the left analog stick after I draw the cross into my striker, who then volleys into the top corner. If you play in Stadium Cam like I do, then you have to remember the shooting controls do not rotate with the camera. They're taken as if you're viewing the pitch horizontally. When it comes to volleys, half volleys outside the box, then I would recommend probably pulling back on the left analog stick. This will help keep your shot nice and accurate and at least hit the target from a decent range, even with the player's weaker foot. For any normal finesse shots, then I'd recommend either just pushing directly up or down on the left analog stick, or if you want to go for that low shot, just pull back on the left analog stick. Those are the only types of shots I would go for when it comes to normal shots. Like I said, with volleys inside the box, then certainly go and push the left analog stick towards goal. One of the main things that stood out for me when switching to advanced shooting was that I found it much easier to hit the target and scored with far greater frequency, and I was suddenly banging in goals left, right and centre. I was getting 3 and 4-0 results, and will definitely be running advanced shooting in my Barcelona Master League. It definitely seemed a little bit easier than basic shooting once I mastered the advanced controls and the camera angle especially. I would highly recommend giving advanced shooting a try. Sure, it'll be difficult at first, but when you realise you've got far greater control of your shots and the chance to score a variety of different goals, I think you'll actually find it really rewarding and a lot of fun overall. In PES 2020, it wasn't as good as this, and in previous versions of PES before that, the advanced shooting mechanics could easily be abused. The controls have definitely been tightened up this year, and personally I would find it difficult to go back and enjoy basic shooting after spending some time on advanced shooting. So that, ladies and gents, concludes the end of this video. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to overhead kick that like button and volley that notification bell into oblivion. Hope you all had a great Christmas, and I'm wishing you all a cracking new year. Thank you once again and all. Bye bye.